Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Angie, and this is my story of how my life became more spiritual. I'm the fourth born in a family of five, uh, three sisters, two brothers. So, in total, we are five. And I am the only one in our family who has graduated, and that is glory to God. I didn't know I will reach this far, but again, looking back, I don't know where I would be if I couldn't have just paid attention to small things. Sometimes you can see something and then you just brush it off. You pay attention to it, yes, but you brush it off. And then after maybe a couple of years later, months, you come and like look back and say, oh, I wish I could have done this back then. I wish I could have listened to this back then. But sometimes you just don't know. So, in our family, I'm not here to reveal secrets about our family or to expose our family. It's just part of my story that I want to bring out. So our extended family is a very large family from my uncle's side, aunties and everyone, because my grandfather practiced polygamy, so he married a lot of wives, including the my grandmother, now the mother to my mother, is I think that was I think the fourth wife or something, because up to date my grandfather is still alive. Yeah, recently I went with him for walks and drives out and it was fun. So up to now he still has a wife, and the wife is still bearing children. And okay, it makes me happy, but in real sense it doesn't make me happy because after Jesus came, like, man is entitled to one woman, right? So, but I just don't want to enter into his story. Let me cut short. Let me cut things short. So that's why my extended family, including my uncles, blah blah blah, we are very large. So even right now, I have a brother. Let me just say a brother, but in real sense, I should call him my uncle, my size, and other one like less me. They're still like underage. They're still following me. And so it took me some time. While I was in school, that is campus, I just sat and observed our extended family, and I was like, there's something wrong in this family. There's something wrong. First of all, I wanted to ask my grandfather, why were you practicing polygamy? Why are you still practicing polygamy up to now? He's a born again Christian, but I think he's just mixed up with traditions and all that, and it makes him happy. So I said, there's something wrong in our family. I didn't want to question my grandfather because he's the one who is alive of all old people. He's the only one who survived and the one who I can reach him. And I observed and I see there's a problem. I observed my uncles, aunties' lives. I studied my mother's life, my uncle, my, how do you call them? Brother to your mother and brothers to your grandfather and grandmother, those ones. I observed and I kept asking my mother questions. And my mom used to brush some off. Even came to realize she doesn't even recognize. So some other time she asked me, like, why are you asking me those questions? And I said, okay. So when I want to ask a question, I will try and find it in a good way for him not to know that I'm very inquisitive, for her not to know that I'm very inquisitive. And so I observed their lives and I was, okay, wait, I didn't touch on my father. My father raised us, but partially. The only people who had an opportunity to be raised by my father were my elder brother and my elder sister. The rest of us, my mother alone raised us. So my father used to drink a lot. Um, I don't know if he was a woman chaser or something, but I didn't want to ask my mother. But from the looks, I think so. He was chasing a lot of women. And so I said, none of us deserves this. My mother doesn't deserve this. She's very loyal and faithful woman, hardworking. And I could attribute to every problem in our family, half of it was contributed by my father. I don't blame him. I'm talking this of pure out of pure heart. And so I observed and I said, no, there's a problem. Remember, I'm still in campus. And I said, I have to sit down and analyze everything before they catch up with me. Because the rest family, the extended family, used to give my mother credit and tell her, "Oh, you have a really nice daughter. Just she's like they praise me and all that, and they praise my mother." But I didn't like to. I didn't used to like those praises. So anytime we are meeting an extended family, I'll run as far as my legs could carry me. I'll run and go and hide, and after the occasion is done or something, that's when I'll just come back to look for my mother, and then we go home. So I said, "There's a problem." And I sat down, I started analyzing each and every one. Sorry, there's noise in the background. I've tried to wait for it to like end whatever they are doing, but they're not ending. And I said, I just do the video. So I took each person at a time and I analyzed. I analyzed this. I analyzed and I could make phone calls like, hi, can I ask you a question? And I could ask. And I'm writing things down. I used to write things down. So I wrote, I analyzed my uncle's life and all those. I wrote them down, and I brought everything together. And I noticed there are similar patterns that is happening to everyone. And I said, this is the problem. So I took the most similar. I arranged them from topmost to least. I arranged them, and I said I'll deal with them one by one. So all over, I think I was in third year. It was just 1 year for me to finish school. So I said, I will tackle you one by one. So I handled this. Because I'm not so special, even if, the story of David, no, not David, Joseph, and the 12 brothers, that when he dreamt, like he saw the sun, moon, and the stars, and the bowing to him, he was not special, but Jesus chose him. But that was just a dream to indicate that he was the one chosen in that family. So I didn't want to place myself as very special. I said, if these things are happening like this, maybe they will catch up with me. And so it's time I catch up with them before they catch up with me. So I've been tackling one by one. And up to this point, I'm still tackling some of them. And so tackling them one by one drew me to becoming more spiritual, because you have to pray, you have to inquire, some you have to like bind, some you have to like you get a very anointed man, or just anointed person who has the power to like cut some things in the realm of the spirit. And I never thought I could deal with them spiritually. My thought was that my grandfather practiced polygamy. I'll ensure the man that I marry, I don't want, doesn't even have knowledge of what polygamy is, doesn't even have understanding, even that polygamous thinking is not existing in his mind. So I was to work against those things, but that was not how they were supposed to be handled. They were not supposed to be handled like that, the way I wanted to handle them. They were supposed to be handled in this other way, because it's like something like that. It's like established, and you have to go an extra mile for you to like cut. Even if it doesn't happen to you, it will happen to your children. or your children. And so it's something that you have to deal with it and to end it completely. And so that made me prayed. I prayed. At times I used to fast. If you see me, I'm very slender. But my slenderness, part of it is contributed because I fast most times. And I used to fast and I still fast most times. Because some things in the Bible it says, I think God was saying this type of a demon, I can't remember very well, but there's a part in the Bible that says such a type can be dealt with by prayer and fasting. That's how you should deal with this type of a demon or something. I used to pray. Remember, I'm not talking to anyone. I'm just making phone calls, inquiring, writing things down, and dealing with them. I was praying. I was fasting. God could send me dreams, and I used to tell God, because I don't know how to deal with this other side. And I see this is the best way to handle these things, because if it's not God, I could have gone to witchcraft, you know. But thank God I met Holy Spirit. And at that time I used to be a church girl. I used to be a church girl. I even used to sing in church, but I was not conversant with spiritual things more so. I just used to know serving in the Lord, like labor to be blessed. That was the main theme of the church, labor to be blessed. And I used to love it. You know, you labor in the Lord for you to be blessed. But it wasn't in my mind. Like, I just used to do, when you tell me do this in church, I'll just do, but not really for blessings. But I had in mind, we are laboring to be blessed, but it was not really in my mind. Anyway, I just used to do because, you know, I like doing it and I'm here, so let me just do it. But I didn't know that in the back, when you do things, you'll be blessed. So I used to pray. You know, I'm not talking to anyone. So it was like, even if I'm going to talk to anyone, who will listen to me before I start? You know, my father, you know, my mother, you know, a friend, even they're not spiritual. Like, it was so intense. It was so intense. So I used to pray. God could reveal to me dreams. Some dreams I didn't used to understand. And I told God, please, like, make me understand, you know. I'm very shallow, please God. So when you're revealing to me things, please make me understand. At least don't bring a very deep dream. Bring me a very simple dream and a direct dream, please. Because this is a heavy, heavy things. Okay, I'll get there. But as for now, please, I just need to handle these things that are here. As I'm tackling them, I extend my prayer, my hours of prayer, fasting. So I didn't used to fast and pray because I was a Christian. I didn't used to fast and pray because as a Christian, that is what you're supposed to do, or as a human being, that is what you're supposed to do. I used to pray and fast to tackle those issues. Those issues, those are the ones leading me to pray and fast, because it's either this power or this power. And since this power is wrong, witchcraft and all that, so I had to go with this. And let me tell you, it was not easy. But I came, spoke with some people, pastors. They told me this and this. I tried to spot a very, spiritual friend and ask him, how can you handle this and this? And I thank God for that. So right now, it's like in my nature to pray and fast, because that is the way of life. Okay, that is the way of life. And once you're born in an African home, unless you're born in a family that, it's just simple, they were not associated, their dads used to be very calm. And my dad was kimbelembele, kirukanjia, not my dad, my grandfather. And that brought a lot of problems. So my mother, being born in that family, ended up getting a husband, now my father, who was the same as him, because that he took that blood. And that blood is the one that I have. I'm not saying that is what I'll end up with, but it was just a pattern that I saw. It can skip and skip and skip. It was just a pattern that I saw. And I said, no, there's a problem. Not even my mom. My dad is a very good guy, by the way. The only problem is he's a drinker, but that is on his side. he's a drinker and all. So I inquired, I was told in that family they just blah blah blah. And I said I'll tackle him too. Because he's a good person and there are those people who just do things because they don't want to do them, but they just find themselves. Then is when there's a strong force behind it. Okay, your grandmothers and mothers from traditions, they made covenants with with the gods they used to worship, or the mixtures and the combinations they used to bow down to. And that, if you have to, that has to be broken for you to be free and live freely. Otherwise, you still have that blood inside you. Okay, so that aside, as at now, I couldn't actually be standing where I'm standing right now, because if I hadn't tackled those things that time, I couldn't be standing right here. In fact, I couldn't even be having gone to school. I don't know. I could have just been somewhere, whatever, dead or whatever, just a nobody, just an empty vessel walking, not knowing where you're going, not knowing where you're coming from, just there. And I really thank God because He has enabled me to, He's revealing. I came to realize that when you pray and ask God for things, He will reveal them to you. Trust me. Trust me. He will show you when you just say, God, please show me this. Show me this. If you don't see, change. Maybe start by repentance or something. He will show you. That's what I know. He will show you. And yeah, so that is why my life became spiritual. Yeah. And I am extending it to my extended family. When I visit them like this, we talk of nothing. But we talk nothing except breaking these things. Breaking these things. Okay. I've had good friends who they really encourage me, they talk to me, and I really thank God. Okay, as you can see, being spiritual doesn't mean that you have to, like, I don't know, look some way. No, I'm just like, when you meet me on the roadside, you'll just think, these are the flash girls that they're just see, I will dress up and I will show up. You might think I'm one of those people, how people judge ladies, especially when you're into beauty and all that. People are used to spiritual girls just looking like, I don't know how, some way, unpleasant way, you know. But trust me, there are ladies out here. They are like striking on point, and you might judge them. You think, you try and approach those ladies. The things they will speak from their mouth, the things they will utter to you, you'll be shocked. You'll run. In fact, you're the one who you will be ashamed. Huh? So don't see spotlight girls and all that, and you think, and right here it's just money, chasing after fun things and secular things. Bro, you try and approach them, and you see the things they will utter to you, or just have a conversation. You'll see how deep they are. In fact, you'll run for your life because of how shallow you are. So anyway, yeah. So my encouragement to you is, this is for people who are born, let's say you are in a family of five. If you're a single person, don't worry. Your life is perfect. You continue, go on. Don't even worry about whatever backgrounds and all that. These are for people who are born five and above, four and above. And you're the only one who notice like things are not okay. This is for you, okay? Step back, observe, okay? Observe, write down, take one at a time and deal with them. And as you're dealing with them, try help your extended family, try help your sisters and your brothers, and pray. Don't pray because you're a Christian, Christian is like, it's just a name, okay? Pray because you have to pray. Pray because you have to pray. Fast where necessary because you have to, not because you're a Christian, okay? Take this and I hope God will bless you. And if you have any question, anything, let me write for me in the comments down, and I'll read each and maybe reply you or combine it in a video and do another one. Thank you so much and love you.